when he saw his son, he picked up his robe, bared his legs like a little child would do, and he took off running after his son. Now, we have a lot of parents here today. We have a lot of grandparents here today. And I want you to hear this, because I believe, as I was thinking about this, God has a very specific message for you. See, this is a tough time of the year for a lot of people. And one of the reasons it's a tough time of the year is relationally, it's a hard time of the year. Some of you parents, or maybe you're a grandparent or a parent with an adult child, you have a strained relationship with your children or a child in your family. Maybe they have rejected you like this boy rejected his father. Maybe it's just you're in a difficult place and it's been a tough year. Maybe it's tough to talk to each other. Maybe it's tough to spend time with each other. And the idea of getting together for the holidays are just really weighing on you, and you're kind of dreading it. Maybe you're a parent and you have a teenage child, and you have teenage children, and your children are just in this different phase of life where it's just hard to relate to them. They're starting to become a little bit more rebellious. They're wanting to become more independent, and you're wrestling with how to relate with them in the way that you used to, and things are just different now. Maybe you're a parent here or a grandparent, you have young children, and maybe they have a learning disability or developmental delays, or socially they're just a little bit different, and how you're interacting with them, it's just not what you pictured life would be like with children at this age. And it's really hard, and it's really difficult. What God wants to let you know this morning is He wants you to have the same posture that this father had with his son. See, this father, when his boy came back to town, someone from the community didn't come and say to him, "Sir, your child is back." Or one of his servants didn't come up, run up to him and say, "Master, your son has returned." But what's it say? When he was still far off, he saw his son. And so what's that tell us about the father? That tells us that this father was waiting, anticipating his son to return. That he was sitting there and watching and expecting something to happen for his son to come back. I believe that this father was probably crying out to God and praying to God, and that this father had hope. And if you're a parent or a grandparent here and you're in a difficult place now with a child in your family, God wants you to have hope today. Because see, what this father understood, he didn't have to go and chase after his son. He didn't have to try and manipulate the situation or coerce his son to come back. But this father understood that the God that he served is a God that can work miracles. He understood that the God that he serves is a God of reconciliation. That he's a God that is a restorer of broken relationships. That the God that we serve is a rebuilder of families that have been divided. That is who God is. And God wants you to know, if you're in a place this holiday season where you are in a strained relationship with a family member, a spouse, a child, don't try and manipulate things to make things work out. Cry out to God. Turn to God. Believe for God to do what only He can do. Believe for God to do and work in that person's heart in a way that only He can. That's what this father did.